Welcome back, guys. This is Automotive Anonymous. That is a 2023 Subaru Forester, and it's a base model, baby, which means it's the first of the 6 trim levels. Interestingly enough, I've reviewed all 5 other trim levels for this model year, but the base, in a color that I like to call white, is very elusive, very evasive, and hard to find because the dealers don't often order them. So unless you custom order one, you're just not going to see these on the road very often, and there's a few distinct differences between the base and all the other trim levels that we need to get into. So today's review, we're going to do a walk around, go through all the specs, initial driving impressions, 0 to 60 with the GPS, and then our final thoughts to decide, is a Subaru Forester base worth your time and money? Is this potentially the best value of any Subaru for the dollar? We're going to find out. Big thanks to Twin Falls Subaru for letting me borrow for the day. I'll link it below if you're interested. Let's dive right in with this review. A few basic things to start with is this is the 5th year of the 5th generation of the Subaru Forester that started in 2019. But the first generation started all the way back before Y2K in 1997, as can be seen here. These are really good. They're a top safety pick plus. They have LED headlights. They have all-wheel drive, a lot of safety features. There's a reason why 140 to 180,000 people some model years buy them. Although last year they did trend down a little bit for 2022. Subaru in North America only sold about a measly 114,000. But that still means it's a high-selling compact crossover CUV, and for good reason. These are great. So one of the things that makes the Forester base so great is you don't have to go to a higher trim level to really get much more capability, practicality, or safety features. Sure, there are a few of those. If you go wilderness, it's a little bit more off-road capable. If you go touring, it might have a few more safety features. But those cost 40 grand basically. This one is 26,000. After destination and any other goodies, it's about 28,000. And you get most of the things that you love about the Subaru Forester just on the base model, even the updated LED headlights that were standard for 2022, making this a top safety pick plus. So if you value safety, if you value economy, this is really a good vehicle for you. A few housekeeping items to know about the Forester is it's basically 15 feet long. The wheelbase is just under 9 feet, so it's pretty well planted, pretty stable on the road. They weigh about 3,500 pounds, which is pretty good for this class of vehicle. 6 feet wide, 5.5 feet tall, 8.7 inches of ground clearance is phenomenal. Subaru all-wheel drive with a 370 final drive ratio, so it's pretty good at putting the power down, but also being economical. Speaking of, the gas tank's located right there on the passenger side. It's a 16.6 gallon tank, and if you're going about 26 city, about 32, 33 highway, your road trips are going to be up to about 550 miles if you're conservative. And then also, this puppy can do a full circle in about 35 feet, so it's pretty light on its feet. It's pretty agile on the road. And you're probably wondering, how many people does it hold? How much stuff can I carry? Well, technically there's 5 seats. The gross vehicle weight rating is about 4,900 pounds, so this can hold about 1,400 pounds of payload between your stuff in the cabin and on the roof, however you want to configure it. This one can tow 1,500 pounds, but if you get a Subaru Forester Wilderness that has a 411 final drive ratio, those are actually rated to tow up to 3,000 pounds when they have the tow package installed. If you like the color white, the Subaru Forester, or my video, please consider giving this a big thumbs up. It really helps my channel to grow, and your act of kindness goes a long way. Thank you. You're probably ready to see the inside, so we'll finish it up. It has a 225 65/17 Bridgestone Eco Kia tire. That's an all season. You can see disc brakes. They are on all 4 corners, and then it's a real rim, not just a hubcap with a steely. And then the physical key, unlock, lock, hatch release, it's not power lifted, and then the panic button to alert people that something's gone horribly wrong. And on the door panel, you have an array of different soft touch, contrasting, tan and dark materials, which do in fact include the lunar moon landing surface, not to be confused with a loonie, which is a form of coin currency in Canada. You have a nice soft touch armrest. You can fit about 10 fingers in here, so if you have that many, you shouldn't have to worry. Bottle holder, some snacks. I do wish they had extended further out, and then an unnamed speaker. You have a miniature Subaru on the door sill, cloth mats, rubberized pedals, hood release, fuse box, options. You have ventilation, trip reset, lighting stock, and non-power manually adjusted cloth seats, which actually are very comfortable. And then the base model does not get a moonroof up top. Sitting inside the Forester base is a really nice place to be. We're gonna fire it up with that old school styled key. Fires up, the needles dance, but no Subaru emblem appears like on some of the fancier models. Non-leather wrapped wheel, but it's comfortable. It's the right thickness. You have some toggles down here to go through your center display. 14.8 mpg. That's not accurate with how much time this has spent idling. And then you have an info button right here to go through the other display. But it really doesn't show you much more information on a trim level such as this. Otherwise, it's really comfortable. Visibility is literally the best, objectively, if you believe that. Otherwise, 6.5-inch screen. It works pretty well. You do have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay if you want to plug your phone in. Physical buttons, which we really like. No CD player on this one though, which is interesting. And then you have a few plugins and a 12 volt down there. Backup camera takes up the whole screen. Trajectory lines do move, and clarity is decent. I've seen other new vehicles that have a grainier system, so I'd say that's on par for the class. Otherwise, you have electronic parking brake, auto vehicle hold, a few blank spots where you'd have fancier features on another trim level, sub cup holders, CD player if you had a CD player, and then a 12 volt in the pretty average size center console. Up top, you just have some more safety features you can turn off if you so desire. You have your sunglass holder up top. You have some safety features you can turn on and off, your light switch, and then some LED lighting. Otherwise, we're gonna hop in the back, turn it off, and see what else it has to offer. The back door panel follows the same theme, and you even get the lunar moon landing surface once again, 10-finger handle, and basically just a slightly smaller bottom of the door panel. Baby size Subaru again on the door sill with a little bit of grip in case you have to step there to get up to your roof rails. And otherwise, it's a really nice 60/40 split bench seat. I've not seen the strap to recline the seat on this base model like you can on the other Forester trim levels to recline the seat back a few degrees. But sitting in behind my driver's seat position at 5'11", I have a whole hand's worth of room in front of my knees. My Chacos have plenty of room to be slid around on the carpeted mats, and then I have a little bit of storage for some small snacks or goodies right there. But no ventilation, no plugins, no heated seats back here, and no armrest back here either. Otherwise, it's a really nice place to be. It's extremely spacious for being only a 15-foot long compact CUV. Let's go around to the back, pop the hatch, and see what else it has to offer. Back here, you basically just need the hatch to be unlocked, and then you can open it with the physical button. Keep in mind, there's a blank spot where the pin code would be. If you have that feature, I have a video on how to set it, get into your vehicle without having the key on you, which is a pretty cool feature. Otherwise, we're just gonna push the hatch button so you can see it's unlocked, it's beeped, it's flashed. And then those shocks do a really good job to help lift it up. And when the hatch is open, you can see it's roughly about 2 feet taller than the roof of the vehicle, so be careful when you're in a garage or near a garage door. Back here, you have 29 cubic feet of cargo capacity, which is a little bit less than the Outback, but quite substantial. Yeah, you even have those pockets behind the wheel wells and a few places to put bags, clip them down, little tie downs, and a 12 volt back there with a privacy shade if you want to have that up. Otherwise, it's pretty easy to reach, I'd say, for most people probably, to get to folding down the seats. You can see they almost lay flat. When they're both flat, both the 40 and the 60 split, you have about 74 cubic feet of room. And then under here, you have a lot of storage, and you have a spare tire with your tools underneath the foam. What are you guys gonna hide down here? Comment that below. Otherwise, you can usually hide these underneath the floor, which is a pretty cool feature. Since there's no power lift features, I actually have to grab the handle myself and pull it down. It's a small price to pay to show you this vehicle. And then the passenger side rear door panel follows the same theme. You guys know what you're looking at. This is where your designated backseat driver goes. That's where the single mat pocket resides. Cloth mats, same entryway down here. And then the 60 split, which also drops pretty easily. You can see just how flat that seat lies. But if you're gonna ride shotgun, what do you get up here? Basically the same door panel as the driver, minus a few of the extra window controls and options. Baby size Subaru on the door sill, cloth seats. Of course, you just have the manually adjusted seats, which are backpacks, comfortable, having a good time. Just holding on, knowing it's in a 5-star crash tested vehicle. And then you don't have any extra storage here or above the glove box, but it is locking. It's adequately sized, but there's no 12 volt plug-in in here like there is in the Subaru Outback. The white pearl paint really shines well now that we're getting a little bit more sun, but it's time to pop the hood and show you what the 2.5 liter Boxer looks like. And there you have it. There's the 2.5 liter Boxer 4-cylinder horizontally opposed engine. Makes about 182 horse, 176 peak pound-feet of torque. It's kind of interesting that the Forester is basically the only Subaru that has the engine cover. Most of the other ones just have an open top. But overall, there's not a lot of other plastics concealing what's going on here. You have ventilation through the grille, through the filter, through the ducting and the baffling to quiet it down, and then it goes through the throttle body and then down into those intake runners. You can see 2 of them on each side. Otherwise, you have all of your reservoirs up top, your oil filter and fill, easy to get to, your oil dipstick, your batteries right there, and then your alternator, the serpentine belt. That's all right there. Easy to get to, easy to do most maintenance items that aren't spark plugs on this type of setup. Let's drop the hood. It's time for my favorite part. We were going to teleport and time travel to one of my favorite roads and show you guys how it drives. Initial driving impressions of the BASE Forester is that it's really good, really familiar. Feels a lot like the other Foresters I've driven. Windows give you great visibility. They're huge. This is the best visibility out of any Subaru that I've driven. They're so big that you almost don't miss having the ginormous, basically panoramic moonroof that's on all the other Foresters other than the base model. Steering wheel comfort's good. Driving position is just fine. It's easy to find a position that you're comfortable in. And then on the base, you have all the basics. You have a few plugins, a few storage cubbies, and everything you need for a basic road trip. Keep in mind, this vehicle is still more loaded than the average vehicle was 15, 20 years ago. So even though it's a base today, it's 20 grand less than the average new car. It really feels like you get a lot, especially with all the safety features you get. LED headlights, better than average ground clearance, cargo capacity, and safety ratings. All the good things that Subaru likes to offer you. And for under 30 grand, you really can't argue with this. It also is better than average all-wheel drive, especially if you're going to be in the Pacific Northwest or somewhere up north or Canada, anywhere like that, that you might see 6+ inches of snow. I think you might appreciate this all-wheel drive system. And then basic Bridgestone all-season tires. These are really capable. Overall, it's really comfortable to ride. The backpack's having a good time. The seats are fairly comfortable. I honestly usually like Subaru cloth seats. The bolstering's not very aggressive, but you fit well in it. If you take a corner too fast, you will slide around a little bit. The 6.5-inch screen does what it needs to do. You do have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay that you can plug in for. The quality of the speakers is not fantastic, but it's on par with this class, with this price point, so what more can you expect? And overall, I really like it. Here's a little bit of a 47 mile per hour roll. We're nearly a mile above sea level today, so it does feel sort of anemic compared to if you were driving this at sea level. And then if you live even higher up, if you live in some of those Denver mountains, or just outside of Denver, or anywhere else, you're going to be a little bit more anemic on power. But when it's just me in the car, it gets up to speed okay. CVT sometimes shifts like you just saw, sometimes it holds its gears. Make up your mind, CVT. Anyways, I think it's a really good value, I think it's a really good car, and I'm sure you guys are excited to see how fast it is. So we're gonna get to our private road, do a 0 to 60, and then wrap it up with our final thoughts. 0 to 60, we have traction control off, sport mode on. I'll brake rev the CVT, and then I'll verbalize the true 0 to 60. Keep in mind, density altitude's 4,900 feet today, so we're basically a mile above sea level, meaning this vehicle's down in power about 15%. Let's go. And true 0 to 60 came in at 9.8 seconds. Not bad given our elements. Here's that graph and then our final thoughts. Final thoughts of the Subaru Forester base is honestly, I think it's a steal of a value for 28 grand. It's 20 grand less than the average new car. It offers better safety, better all-wheel drive, better cargo capacity than most of those other average vehicles. I know we're getting kind of away from sedans. More people are going SUV, CUV, things like that. But honestly, the Forester is probably one you should consider. Always test drive multiple brands, multiple models to make sure that you're making an informed and the right decision for you. But honestly, I really like this. I've said before in a few of my other Forester videos that if this had the turbo 2.4 liter engine, I'd probably be driving one of these as my daily driver compared to my Outback Wilderness, because that's how good these are. These have literally the best visibility of almost any vehicle that's not a convertible, not something like my Mazda Miata. They handle extremely well in the snow. The Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive is very good for this class of kind of economy car, way better than a lot of the front wheel drive BASE systems. And it's just a good value. They have good resale value and they keep you pretty safe in accidents, all things considered. Hopefully you're never in one, but thankfully with all the active and passive safety features that you can get on a Subaru, it's gonna help you avoid those. So what are your thoughts, guys? Do you like the Forester? Do you like the base model? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions. And if you like this video, like this video. If you want to subscribe, I post at least once every single week. And I hope you guys take care until the next one. See ya.